Hello and welcome to episode number 330, if my maths is correct, of the TEW 2020 run. And this is going to be Raw for Monday, week 4, January 2023, and it is the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. And yeah, we've just got like a couple of just matches tonight. We've got Drew McIntyre team with Bianca Belair take on the remaining two members of the Regal Coalition, that being Ridge Holland and Florence. In mixed tag team action, we have the Street Profits against the Bionic Breed, with the winning team going on to the Royal Rumble to challenge Path of the Dragon for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And we have in the main event, double or nothing, I guess. I can't really use that term, but all or nothing. Liv Morgan and Hikaru Shida, the team dubbed Live for Battle, get one more crack at the Women's Tag Team Championships of Bayley and Dakota Kai of Damage Control. If they lose, not only do they not become the champions, but they lose their spots in the Royal Rumble match. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into this go-home show. 83. We kick off with the mixed tag match that we mentioned earlier on, Drew McIntyre and Bianca Belair. Just because, there's no reason for it to be Bianca storyline-wise, because she's fighting Charlotte at the Rumble, but they teamed up against whoever the fuck. Ludwig and Rhea. So they've sort of had history of teaming together, so it makes sense that Drew would pick Bianca, was my logic. And then they beat Florence and Ridge. Drew pins Ridge with the Claymore to get another victory, heading towards his big showdown with Gunther at the Royal Rumble. An 89 for Bianca, 88 for Drew, a 73 for Florence, and a 70 for Ridge. And yeah, just starting out with a match, why not? It felt like the right thing to do this week, to be honest, because we're building to the Rumbles. We've got to have a lot of Rumble promos. You see, that is the tradition. After the match, though, Gunther comes out, and he gets in the face of Drew. Bianca sort of just standing there in the background, I guess, just watching on, what the fuck is going on here? And then Gunther and Drew finally get into a big brawl. They brawl, in the ring, exchange strikes, and then eventually Drew clotheslines Gunther over the top. And the brawl spills to the outside, and they continue brawling around the ringside area. Referees and shit try and come out and pull them apart. And Bianca's just left in the ring, watching on, what the fuck's going on here? We hear a commotion from the crowd, because Charlotte slides in behind Bianca, and she kicks her from behind with a big boot. And then the two women brawl in the ring. And more referees and shit have to come out and pull them apart. So just a fun brawling segment, They always get the crowd hot. And yeah, nice hot Royal Rumble go-home show. I don't think this will be that long of an episode, because a lot of it is just, the build for the Rumble is basically done. So yeah, it's just putting some finishing touches on some shit. Such as this. We're in Alexa's office. Tatum and Ivy are there obviously as well. And she's with Finn Balor and the Good Brothers and Death from Above. Cynthia is there as well, but I ran out of people to put in a segment. And Finn's like, you wanted to see us, Alexa? She goes, yes, I did. Okay, so, as you know, being the Raw GM around this time of year, it's going to be a pain in the balls, because I've got the whole Rumble thing to sort out, Gotta get the Tumblr sorted and make sure everybody can get their stuff ready for Saturday. But that then leaves me with time on the show. So why not add some stakes to tonight's show? Coming up next, we have the number one contenders tag team match. It'll be the Street Profits against the Bionic Breed, Buddy Murphy and Dijak. The winner of that match will face Path of the Dragon for the Raw Tag Team Championship at the Royal Rumble. But beyond the Royal Rumble, we're going to keep chugging along, This train don't stop moving. So, how about tonight we get the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, against Steph from Above's Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado. The winning team of that one will get a shot on next week's Raw. 2 days after the Royal Rumble for the Raw Tag Team Championships. How's that? How'd you like them apples? And Gallows like, I like them apples a lot, Alexa. Only if they're green though, because the Good Brothers only deal in green. And Metalik and Dorado sort of nod their head yeah, sure, we'll get a free tag title match. So yeah, I need to fill time, so we can do Good Brothers against Death from Above. Winning team goes to next week's Raw to face Path of the Dragon, or the Street Profits, or Bionic Breed. But that match is now. the Tag Team Championship match, no, Contenders match even. It is the Intercontinental Champion Angelo Dawkins and his partner Montez Ford, the Street Profits, picking up the win over the Bionic Breed when Dawkins pinned Dijak with a spinebuster. An 82 for Montez Ford, an 83 for Angelo, an 82 for Buddy Murphy, and a 72 for Dijak, who was the weak link apparently. Sure, that adds up because Buddy Murphy, former WWE champion, just a credible upper mid-carder at this point. And then these two are hot right now, and Dijak's not really been doing anything ever. So yeah. But yes, it will be, I guess, sort of champion versus champion. Montez Ford hasn't got a belt, but it is. We could get Angelo Dawkins 2 belts coming out of the Rumble. And that match is cemented when Tozawa and Humberto, along with Zaya and Zergis as well, but not really them, but mainly the champs, get in the face of the Street Profits. And they just sort of shake hands ahead of the match. Dawkins is hesitant to shake the hand of Path of the Dragon. And Ted's like, come on, man, do it. And Dawkins just gives him a glare before turning back around and shaking the hand of Humberto and or whichever one of Humberto and Garza is opposite him. Not Garza, Tozawa. Fuck. Yeah. But there's your Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Street Profits and Path of the Dragon. Should be another banger for the boys here. Because the Profits are on fire right now. And these guys are always on fire. They're never not on fire. I am going to... Yeah, okay, so this segment in the back here with Alexa, Tatum, Ivy, and Tonya got a 63. You're going to have to believe me on that. Don't know why I would lie about that rating, but you're going to have to believe me on that because I can't show you the TEW screen right now because I have forgotten and have made a boo-boo. But yes, it is Tonya in the back of Alexa Bliss and Ivy Nile. She sort of walks in. Alexa goes, "Can I help you?" She goes, "It's me, Tonya. You want to do that whole assessment thing this week?" And Alexa goes, "Oh, right, yes, we did say that. Okay, so how's it going? Is he here?" And Tonya goes, "Yeah, he's here. He's on his way." Alexa goes, "You're sure he's, it's incredible safety to everybody in our locker room that he..." And Tonya goes, "Yeah, it's fine. He's done his time, and he's ready to come back a changed man." And well, not really a new man per se, because I've reminded him of who he used to be. And this right here, she slaps a folder on the desk and she goes, "You can take a look through it all you want, Alexa. You don't believe me, it's money." And Alexa, of course, takes the folder and flicks through it, and she's like, well, I see some potential here. So, I'll tell you what. You go out to the ring and you can give this a try. You can bring him with you. And we'll see, because I'm all about giving people second chances here. And Tony goes, "Thank you so much, Alexa. You won't regret this. The ratings of Raw are about to skyrocket now because of you." And she leaves. And Tatum and Ivy just sort of look at Alexa like, what was in there? Spill the tea, sis. Alexa goes, "Watch the show and find out, girls. Come on." We then get the the old school Royal Rumble videos, where it's a minute of different people spliced in about why they think they're going to win the Royal Rumble, etc. This one's for the Women's Rumble. We hear from Julia, Sonya, Nova, Florence, Tegan, Tatum, and Mackie. Mackie just shouts, "Royal Rumble, let's fucking go," or something like that. The others breaking down why they think that tonight is their year, or this year is their year, and will any of them be successful and come out on top in the Royal Rumble? We've only got 5 more days to find out. But before then, they're going to get a quick, Royal Rumble showcase. It's going to be Nova Nebula taking on Julia in one-on-one action. Match gets a 79, apparently there's a lack of psychology, which, bleh, whatever. And in, somewhat of an upset, Julia picks up the win in 15-13, diving crossbody. 78 for Julia, 83 for Nova, and we'd have that spot in the match where one of the two gets thrown over the top rope and their feet hit the floor, and the announcers go, "Oh, if that happens during the Royal Rumble, then they'll be eliminated, yada yada yada," because that's always a funny thing. But yeah, just a quick, not really quick, good 15-minute Royal Rumble showcase match between two of the women that could be considered kind of favourites to win the Rumble. I didn't realise this well, so this is going to be me pulling back the curtain a little bit, because I actually already have recorded the match. And, like, going into the match, I was like, the Women's Rumble this year doesn't seem as stacked as it has in years past. And then it took me a while to realise it's because, like, none of the horsewomen are in it this year. You know, Io's not in it this year. Bianca obviously isn't in it because she's fighting Charlotte. And yeah, it's that's why. Like, I just hit me like, this is the first ever Women's Rumble where no horsewomen will be in, because, you know, two of them are the champions. We all know where Becky is, and Sasha went off to film. So, yeah. We then see the anime boys, and they're talking about stuff, about their favourite anime or whatever, when Titus, Billy and Truth walk up to him, and he goes, "Hey, have you seen the Shankster around here?" And Sensei's like, "No, why would we have seen him? Surely, isn't he your guy?" Dust goes, "Yeah, well, last week after, you know, he took on Omos and he came up short, we haven't seen him. The actual reason he's not here is because he's currently serving a suspension for steroids, but I'm not going to say that on screen." And Manny goes, "Well, I'm sure he'll show up when we need him most, okay? And right now, we're strong, and, you know, Shanky's in our hearts, and when he does decide to return, we'll welcome him back with open arms." And then Bivens walks in the frame, like, sarcastically clapping. He goes, "Well, it seems you're big giant here, your little giant friend. I can call him a little giant because he's not as big as my giant. Couldn't cut the mustard last week against Colossal Omos, the Nigerian giant. Put him down and prove there's only one big giant here in WWE, and it's him." And then Billy's like, "What do you want here, mate?" And then Doudrop, I guess, steps in the way, and he goes, "Oh, what I want here, mate, is pretty simple. You know, we have found, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, people like to say. And if you want to form this Titus World Records anime supergroup, then we can form a supergroup of our own. So tonight, you," pointing at Billy, and you, Saray, the two girls, against my girl here, Doudrop, and her new friend, Lyra Valkyria." And Saray goes, "You're on." And Billy's like, wait, now do we not both get a say in this?" And Billy's like, "Great, see you out there." And Billy's like, "What? You got to be joking me. I'm not ready for this." And then Titus goes, "You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it." So yeah, women's tag match: Saray and Billy Kay against Doudrop and Lyra. That's for later on tonight, though. But first, we hear from the entire Regal Coalition, I guess, calming Gunter down after he got involved in that brawl earlier on tonight. And then he's like, "Gunter, relax. It's okay. I know that after what Drew McIntyre has done to the Regal Coalition here, you want to kick his head off as much as everybody else does, and you'll get that chance in 5 days' time. But now we must refocus and regroup. We can't let this one loss take us down. Because this weekend we're going to be a very, very, very happy group of jolly old British / European people you've ever seen, because Gunter will be the World Heavyweight Champion when he proves that he's better than Drew McIntyre. Florence will win the Women's Royal Rumble match, and one of Dudley or Pete will win the Men's Royal Rumble match, and then the Regal Coalition will be undeniable, and we can be disrespected as much as we want, because at the end of the day, we will be the ones on top of this holy sport." So yeah, just a quick Regal Coalition promo, because that is a situation that could happen, you know. Gunter could win the world title and they could win both Rumbles. So I just wanted to plant that in people's heads, going, hey, watch out for these guys, they're a bunch of rapscallions. Speaking of rapscallions, Kathy Kelly's interviewing Bayley, Dakota and Cora, all of Damage Control. And Kathy goes, well, busy week for you here, Bayley, 2 belts. You know, the pressure of having 2 belts is you've got to defend both those belts, but you've learnt the hard way. She's like, oh yeah, ding dong, Kathy, obviously I've noticed, okay. So, Bayley here, me, Bayley 2 belts, star straps, okay, listen, you see, you're in the presence of me, okay. Tonight, I get to crush the Liv Morgan and Hikaru Shida's dreams. You see, if you were across the ring from, say, a generational women's talent, you know, one of the greatest women of all time, one of the 4 women pointed at and as the spearheader of a revolution for an entire gender in this company, you'd really put it all on the line and say double or nothing? Surely you know that, ding dong dummy, I'm not going to beat Bayley, you know. Nobody can beat Bayley, not Liv, not Shida, and certainly not AJ, okay? Now, luckily for me, AJ ain't here tonight because she's a SmackDown girl. Because I get the privilege of floating over to both shows with these tag team championships along with Dakota and Cora. And tonight, everyone hoping for that feel-good victory. That moment where Shida and Liv put it all on the line and they come out on top and prove to everybody around the world that yes, you too can be champion. No! Because I'm not going to give up either one of my 2 championships just yet, Kathy. Not tonight, not this Saturday, not even at WrestleMania. And Shida and Liv have just washed away that one chance at getting a WrestleMania championship match. That's all going to be for nothing. They'll have nothing to show for it, Kathy. Because we will remain in control. Just like we are right now. Oh! 61's actually better than I thought this would be. Okay. Yeah. It is the heel duo. Lyra and Doudrop pick up the win over Billie Kay and Sarray when Lyra pins Billie with the guillotine in 8:24. 59 for Sarray, 60 for Billie. Billie actually didn't carry, but got the highest by like 4. There's only 4 minutes, that's fine. 60 for Billie, 59 for Sarray, 56 for Doudrop, and a 58 for Lyra. And yeah, it appears now we have 2 combined forces in this fight of good and evil. You have Titus World Records and My Wrestling Academia, who are obviously the babyface heroes. And we have this temporary alliance of the Schism and the Malcolm Bivens crew. We then see Edge. He's thriving because he's going to be cutting a cutting-edge Royal Rumble special tonight. Where he's going to talk about the Rumble, you know. Obviously a former winner, made a legendary return, you know. He's probably not many more people on the roster more credible to talk about the Royal Rumble and stuff than him. And speaking of Royal Rumble winners, in comes Randy. You know, he's won 2 of them. And he says, it's my favourite time of the year, you know, the Royal Rumble. And I'm looking to make it a 3-peat, you know. John Cena did it 2 years ago. He became a 3-time Royal Rumble winner. Anything he can do, I can do. And she goes, well, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad you're confident in yourself, Randy. Because there's actually one more thing standing in your way of becoming a 3-time Royal Rumble winner. It's something that last year you didn't have to face. And that's me being in this match. Okay? When I came back 3 years ago, made that legendary return in the Royal Rumble, I promised myself that night I was going to become champion once again. It's not happened yet. It's going to happen at WrestleMania. And I'm going to win the Royal Rumble to get there. We then head to the ring. And Tonya makes her way out. And there's some like funky music playing in the background. And she says, hello everybody. It's a pleasure to be out here in front of the WWE Universe here in the Little Caesars Arena. My name's Tonya, and for the past few months, my brother has been going through a bit of a rough time. I could say past few months. It's been about a year or so. But only recently did he check himself to get help. And that's why I come out as his loving baby sister. It was my good job to help my brother become who he should be and who he needs to be again, and not who he became that sent him down that path. it's down to me to reignite the side of him that people actually liked being around and weren't scared of. And that's when I came up with this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the next great step here on WWE Raw to make Raw not only the most must-see show in WWE, the most stylish, the most fashionable show here in WWE. This is the male model regime. And what is a male model regime to be without its head, its mastermind, my brother?
Is it my eyes when you look at me? They are so gorgeous.
I can't breathe. And he's in a suit. I imagine he's not got the beard. He's like clean shaven. He's got the spiky Tyler Breeze hair, like not the full length. Actually, no, he hasn't. He's got the old school Tyler Breeze haircut, the ponytail. And he comes to the ring and he just stands there next to Tonya, and she's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, with the Breezes at the helm, the maximum male model regime will do one thing and one thing only. And that is..." And she sort of looks at Breeze. He still doesn't really say anything. And she looks back and goes, "Well, someone's not really game at the moment. But it's okay, trust me. It's this here, this line. To titillate the juices of your guilty pleasure. Now, what is a great regime without a strong leader? So that's why Breeze here, Tyler Breeze, not me, Tonya, is going to wrestle a match tonight against this man here." And then some random local guy walks up. And she goes, I don't mean any offense. I mean, I kind of do, but not really. But you don't really fit the bill for what we're looking for here, buddy. So you're going to get destroyed by my brother here, and he's going to show you what the greatness of being so fashionable can do for your WWE career. What's your name, little man? He goes, hi. My name's Zane McMahon. Tonya goes, and Bree just snaps his head around, just glares a hole at him. And she's like, No. I said, what's your name? And he said, Zane McMahon. And Tonya's like, no. Oh, your name, because it sounds a lot like you're saying. And then Bree just snaps the mic off Tonya. And he goes, ring the bell. And the bell rings. Tyler Breeze beats the piss out of Zane McMahon and beats him in a beauty shot in 1 minute 35. 67 for Tyler Breeze, 6 for Zane McMahon. And yeah, Breeze just demolishes this poor boy. After the match, Breeze continues to attack him. And he's snapped. He grabs the chair on the outside, starts wailing in on Zane McMahon. And Tonya has to step in. She's like, no, Tyler, stop. Remember what we went through, okay? We don't want to send you back there now, do we? And Bree sort of just looks at the poor boy on the floor, looks at the chair in his hands, and just drops the chair, and he goes, alright. And he walks out, and Tonya sort of just smiles at him and follows him out. So it's finally time to bring in something akin to the maximum male models. And obviously Tyler Breeze is the best fit for it. But as much as we tried to, fix him, because he went a little bit insane, to put it lightly, there's still a little bit of work to do, because this man simply being called Zane McMahon, this doesn't really sound like anyone else's name that I can think of, but apparently that triggered Breeze to beat the shit out of him. So there must still be some work to be done, but baby steps here of the new maximum male model regime, run not by Max and Maxine Dupree, but Tyler and Tonya Breeze. We then see Drew. he's angry. He's meeting up with Kathy Kelly. He goes, Kathy, I'm sick of this, okay? So, this guy, okay, you got Gunther, the ring general, okay? He's a tough son of a bitch. I know. Like, his very first match here in WWE, he beat me. Okay? I know firsthand how good this guy is. But he brags out here, and he brags about respect, how he respects the mat, and he respects the art of professional wrestling. No, you don't. If you're going to come out here and you're going to cheap shot a man from behind, like you just did to me out there, you don't respect a damn thing about what we do, okay? You can hide behind Regal, you can hide behind Florence, Dudley, and Pete, and Ridge, but I've kicked every one of them's heads off one by one by one by one. And yours is coming next, Gunther. See you this Saturday at the Royal Rumble, where I off, pin you 1, 2, 3, and go on to WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. And there ain't a damn thing that anybody in your little coalition can do about that. 77, I will take that. That's a good little rating for what is a random tag match. But it is the Good Brothers who pick up the win over Death from Above in 15:28. Carl Anderson pins Lindsay with a Magic Killer, earning them the next shot of the Raw Tag Team Championship. So it'll be, on next week's show, Gallows and Anderson against the Raw Tag Team Champions, whether that be Path of the Dragon or the Street Profits. 77 for Lindsay, 84 for Metalik, 66 for Anderson, and a 53 for Gallows. Yeah, that sounds about right. Metalik doing all the work, Gallows getting carried, sure. This is again, because it's the Royal Rumble Go Home show, we've got to wear our By the Numbers package, which isn't made yet, but because I've done it for the last 2 years, I'm going to do it again this year, so I've got to get that ready for the pay-per-view, but this would be that here, but breaking kayfabe, Connell hasn't edited it together yet, so he can't put it here in the video, and he'd rather save it for the Rumble anyway, so yeah. We then see Kathy in Gorilla with Liv and Cheetah. And Kathy goes, Liv, you are a former Raw Women's Champion, okay? That was over 2 years ago you had that belt. But it could be argued that tonight could be the biggest match of your career because there's stakes not just affecting you, but affecting Cheetah as well, ahead of this Women's Tag Team Championship match. And Kathy goes, is there any regrets going on in your head now, ahead of this, what could be a big moment in your career? And Liv goes, Kathy, I don't live by regrets, okay? Every decision I make that decision for a reason, even if it ends up biting me in the ass. Okay? So, I know that back in New Year's Revolution, we had those titles won. Okay, but then little Cora Jade ran out, and she helped her buddies. Well, tonight, the only way to goad Bayley and Dakota back into a tag team championship match was by wagering up something that we had, and that was our spots in the Royal Rumble. Okay, now obviously, this could end up being disastrous. Okay, this could probably end Sheeta and I's friendship, and I would understand if she hated me after tonight if we were to lose this championship match. But that's why we can't lose. Okay? Bayley, Dakota, Cora. Bayley's going to have her SmackDown Tag Team Championship regardless. Dakota and Cora, they're going to have their spots in the Royal Rumble regardless. This is everything for me. Not just for me, but for my friend. Okay? And when the chips are down and my friends have wages in this game, that's when I become all the more dangerous because I'll stop at nothing. Not just for me, but for my friends. To do what is right. And tonight that is become the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And then Liv's music hits and they go through the curtain ahead of the title match. 81. I'll take 81. That's fine. Sure. The rematch between Liv for Battle and Bayley and Dakota for the tag team titles. And I'd probably have Liv be the one who gets the heat on her, and she would get the hot tag. That just seems like the right way around to do things here. And she runs wild once she gets that. She knocks both women down. But Cora is obviously out there as well. And she's trying to get involved. Liv dives on her. She hits a big like tope through the ropes, taking down Cora. And then she hits the Oblivion on Bayley, gets 2, but Cora pulls her out of the ring. And like the referee like looks at Cora, she's like, what the fuck's going on here? And he finally grows some balls and he ejects Cora Jade from the match. And Bayley and Dakota are like, what the fuck? What you doing, bruh? That's our girl. But then behind the referee's back, Bayley nails Liv with a title shot to the back of the head. And then covers her 1, 2, and Liv kicks out. She gets the crowd go fired out. They thought that was it, but Liv's got the fighting spirit. She like screams in Bayley's face, starts firing forearms off. Bayley backs away. Dakota gets the tag in. Liv doesn't see the tag. Oblivion hits. But then Dakota sneaks out behind Liv. Scorpion kick. And then 1, 2, and Kushida breaks up the pin. And the referee is slowly losing control of the match. Kushida and Bayley would brawl on the outside. The referee would be distracted by them, and Dakota then sees that as the opportunity to go under the ring and grab a weapon. But then as she lifts the apron up, I imagine she's doing it like she's in the ring. No, she hasn't left the ring, she's just like leaning over the rope, like in the ring, leaning over, like pulling the apron up that way from the top. But then as she pulls the apron up, she's blasted in the face by black goo. And she's like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? And obviously blinded. She can't see. Liv runs in, hits the Oblivion on Dakota Kai. And gets the 1, 2, 3. And we have new women's tag team champions. Kushida and Liv have done it. They keep their spot in the Royal Rumble. But more importantly than that, they are new women's tag team champions. Kushida's first belt in WWE and Liv's second behind that Raw women's title reign she had like 2 years ago. 80 for Kushida, 73 for Liv, 78 for Dakota, and an 80 for Bayley. But thanks to assistance from, I guess, somebody else who has beef with this crew, we have new tag team champions. Bayley 2 belts is over before it even really began. That's all thanks to Liv Morgan, Hikaru Shida, and the anonymous black gunk that hit Dakota Kai in the face. We then get just a quick look down at the final match we've got added to the Royal Rumble card, and that is for the Raw Tag Team Championships. It will be Humberto Carrillo and Akira Tozawa taking on the Street Profits. Obviously, Intercontinental Champion Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. But it's not just that Raw Tag Team Championship match. We've got one the very next episode when the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, will face off against whoever wins that bout, whether it be Half of the Dragon or the Street Profits. And I'm sure more matches for next week's Raw will be announced at the Royal Rumble or after. We then close the show with Edge in the ring. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special Royal Rumble edition of the Cutting Edge. Now, 5 days away is the Royal Rumble, an event I know all too well. Okay, it may have been 13 years at this point. God, 13, it's really been that long. Yes, okay, but I know what comes out. I know what it takes to come out on top in that match. Okay, most of the other people in this match this year, a lot of them are entering their very first Royal Rumble. They haven't been in the Royal Rumble for a while. Okay, I live the Royal Rumble. I breathe the Royal Rumble. I sleep the Royal Rumble. Okay, and nothing is going to stop me from going back to the main event of WrestleMania, just like when I made my return 3 years ago. I promised myself that I would do. And this year, I get it done.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Out comes Randy. And he goes, Edge, just like we said in the back earlier on tonight, me and you obviously rated RKO, this is a thing. But, Edge, with all due respect, you ain't gonna win the Royal Rumble this year. I am. Okay? John Cena, Steve Austin, those are the 2 men that have won 3 Royal Rumble matches in their history. I'm about to become the 3rd. And I don't care if it's you, I don't care who it is that stands in my way. I'm dropping every single one of you with an RKO, the 3 most dangerous letters in WWE. I'm punching my ticket to the main event of WrestleMania.
If you believe
Ziggler's like, whoa, 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 whoa. How many times have I got to teach you two idiots a lesson, okay? Sure, yeah, like you said, 13 years, Edge. Oh, that's such a long last time. Okay, I know I was there, but is that not the wake-up call that you need? That maybe it's time to take a step back and let somebody else get the job done for once, like last week when me and my boy Priest put you two down in the dirt where you belong. Now, you're probably saying somebody new. That's not Dolph Ziggler. You're right. Like I said, 13 years around, I've been here that long, and even longer than that. But it's about time I'm taking the real Dolph Ziggler to the Royal Rumble. Somebody that ain't going to be disrespected anymore. Somebody that's going to take his future into his own hands and prove that all these years later, it's better to be late than never. And I'm going to prove everybody right that believed in me all this time. And Edge, Randy, that wasn't you two. So I'm going to enjoy taking you out of this match. Finn comes out and he's like, Dolph, that's a lot of strong. Well, the same words are coming out here. You cut the same promo for like 9 years at this point about how you feel like you're being held back. Trust me, nobody cares. But what they do care about is me, Finn Balor, getting back my World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre, he may have it nice and cushy right now. Gunther, he may take it. But it doesn't matter who it is. Because when I win the Rumble, I'm taking it back at WrestleMania.
Shoes, please.
Shush. Finn. Did we not establish last week that you haven't got what it takes? Like, yes, okay, you're a former World Heavyweight Champion. 2-time World Champion. Impressive stuff, all these other championships you've won. Shush. But we learned last week that you don't have what it takes to win the Royal Rumble because you got outsmarted by Master Gable. And as long as Master Gable's in this Royal Rumble match, nobody has the brains to win the whole thing because nobody has the brains that Master Gable has. Thank you. Now, you can all stand around here chatting about how you all think you're going to win the match. Or you can try and prove it by trying to prove that you've got more of a Royal Rumble credentials than an Olympian, a genius, and a freakishly strong athlete. Let me hear it. Oh, sure, excuse me. Hello, yes, hi. My name is Anthony Neese, and I, making my appearance here on Raw alongside the future 2023 Royal Rumble winner, the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling, the WWE Cruiserweight Champion of the world, Dominic Mysterio. You're all looking at us rather confused when I remind you that Mysterios, they know a thing or two about winning Royal Rumbles, okay? They can do it from whatever number they want. Number 1, number 2, number 30, it don't matter. But certain Mysterios winning the Royal Rumble helped establish them as one of the greatest luchadors, one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time. So if that's what it takes to get Dominic in that conversation, then the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling is going to be the face of WrestleMania 39. Silence, you all. You're all running your mouths. I didn't come here to talk. I came here to take action. So, Ziggler, nobody cares what you gotta say in the year 2023, kid. Gable, you're nothing but a punk. Dominic, I'll massacre you, kid. Finn, Edge, Randy, stay out of my way. 29 bodies. Perfect for me. I'm gonna destroy you all. One by one, over you go. You'll be nothing but a tally. Just like every other victim I've demolished in my life. Nothing personal, kids. and then Karrion enters the ring, and he gets in somebody's face, probably Finn, and then Finn hits him, and then a big 7-man brawl takes place. All 7 men in the ring. I imagine they'll get into a fight. Dominic is like cowering around, like trying to avoid getting into combat, but he's still in the ring. He's still technically involved in the fight. But then we just leave the 7 men brawling in the ring, and we get the little graphic pop in the corner, like to sign us off for the show.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
And then right at the very end, this segment goes on last because this is the scene I want to end the Royal Rumble Go Home show with. You got 7 men in the ring brawling ahead of the Rumble, and then the graphic pops up in the corner. Then we hear wrestling has more than one royal family, and then Cody rises from the smoke on the Codyvator, and the show just cuts off the air as he rises up. What a cliffhanger! 84. You know, this was kind of just a thrown together show just to get us to the Rumble. The only things I needed to accomplish were getting that incredible cliffhanger with Cody rising from the smoke. But yes, the build to the Royal Rumble is now complete. Next time we'll see these Raw guys on pay-per-view will be the Rumble itself. But we do have an episode of Heat to get through before we get there. As you can imagine, a very quick Heat this week. Just 4 matches to build up towards the Rumble. The first being this surprisingly good one. Kelsey Cook and Shotzi Blackheart 1-on-1. Shotzi wins in 11:41 with the Fright Night. 77 for Shotzi, 67 for Kelsey Cook. They have great chemistry, which, you know, maybe one day this will be a women's title match on SmackDown. Who knows? Genuinely, who knows? Humberto and Tozawa are the tag team champions, so. 63. VXT have done a lot of losing recently, so I'm going to give them a nice win here. They beat Sol Ruka and Zoe Stark. Deonna submits Zoe with the Fujiwara armbar. Deonna Purrazzo, 67, 55 for Chelsea Green, 49 for Zoe, and a 39 for Sol. And, yeah, just a random women's tag match. I actually kind of like Sol Ruka and Zoe Stark together. What I think about Zoe Stark, really, is as a singles act, where like she's challenging for the NXT Women's title, I don't really find her interesting. But I've always said that she's obviously competent at working and has a cool finisher. And she'd be like not really to say like the perfect like Jannetty, but you know what I mean. Like that member of a tag team that is the less exciting, charismatic one, like the Angelo Dawkins to somebody else's Montez Ford, the Tucker to someone's Otis. That's like a decent role for her, and I think her and Sol Ruka fits that perfectly. So might run with that team a little bit more in coming weeks. We'll have to see. 66, Ruby Riott beats Wendy Chu just in a 9-minute 45 match. Because, yeah, Ruby I want to give her a win. 66 for Ruby and a 47 for Wendy Chu. And the main event is a tag match, because the 71, Yoko Miko back in action again, but this time they're beaten. Because Tegan is the only one in this match that's in the Royal Rumble. So she's going to pick up the win just to get the momentum heading into that. She wins Kamiko, a Vulture Culture Destroyer, in 14:47. 74 for Tegan, 67 for Kylie, 50 for Kamiko, and a 71 for Yoko. And that ends the final heat before the Royal Rumble. Gets a 71. What matters more is what you thought of Raw. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for the Go Home show for SmackDown ahead of the Royal Rumble. See you then.